Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, let's go. Kevin here, Top 1 Financial Advisor and best-selling author. We are here to talk about the stock market. Your 401k does not come with an instruction manual, unfortunately, even though it is one of the best, most powerful investing accounts out there. So in this video, I'm going to give you exactly what you need to know to invest in your 401k the right way. If you are a beginner, if you're someone who's intermediate, or someone who just has questions, say, look, am I doing this correctly? Am I on the right track? So on and so forth. Now, I'm going to try and do this within 10 minutes. So I've got my handy little note card, folded up sheet of paper, and we're just going to kind of go down the list just to make sure I don't miss anything. And again, try and keep it within 10 minutes. All right, your 401k is an investing account. Not an investment, just an account. Now this account is generally offered by your employer. Sometimes you have to be eligible for it. I've had jobs where I had to wait 90 days, and on day 91, I got my 401k and I could put money into it. If you're an entrepreneur, you have the option to have a solo 401k. And currently, in the employer case, meaning I work for somebody, they offer me a 401k, I can invest up to $22,500. That's the max I can put in. However, once I turn 50, that bumps up and I can put into $30,000 every single year. When it comes to a tax advantage account, a 401k is a tax advantage account. I'll explain that in a second. This is the highest amount that you can put in, period. There is no other account that exists where you can put in that much money on a tax advantage basis. It is only the 401k that lets you do that. Now there is an option for what is called a Roth 401k. We can do that in a separate video. It has a different tax advantage, but that's it. This is a pre-tax account, which means I got my taxable income, right? I get to put in as much as $22,500, and that's going to reduce my taxes. I'm not taxed on that money until the money comes out of the account. Again, this year, $22,500. If you're under 50, once you turn 50, it is $30,000. Every few years or so, that amount, it does adjust upward. Okay, so for 2023, that's the number. 24, 25, 26, could be different, all right? But again, they almost always go up. I've never seen it go down. So there's that. All right, so that's the first thing. Just an account, that's all it is. You can put up to $22,500, and again, up to $30,000 above 50. Right? That is your contribution. Your employer, in some cases, may offer a match. That means that you put in some amount, they are going to put in some amount. Now, my suggestion has always been between 12 to 15% of your income. If I make $100,000, I want to try and put in as close as I can get to 15%. However, if my employer, let's say, matches me 3%, I can put in 12, they can put in 3, that equals 15. I can do it that way. Why would I consider doing it that way? Well, one, I may be able to keep some of that money and use it now, right? Or I may not have enough room in my budget to put in the full 15%. Now, the more you put in, generally the better off you're going to be, but I might be looking for some wiggle room. If they're going to give me free money, then I'm going to offer that, right? Or I'm going to take that. In either case, you know, I can put in 15, they give me 3, that's 18, or I can do 12, they give me the rest, and I can get there that way. If you feel like your budget is too tight, still put in money, okay? You don't have to start at 10, you don't have to start at 15. Get as close as you can, and you can also opt in some cases for an automatic increase, which means every year they're going to increase it by about 1%. That's also a good move too. You start anywhere is going to be better than starting nowhere. All right. Now, the other thing too is not every employer offers a match, but that is free money. Also, be aware of any vesting schedules. That means that when an employer offers you money, sometimes invest when they give it to you. That means that they put in 3%, you leave the job, you get to keep that 3%. That money is yours and you can take it when you leave your employer. But not every employer offers that. Sometimes they give you what is called a vesting schedule, which means that, let's say, over 1 year and you leave, you can take 25% of the money that they gave you. All the money that you put in, you get to keep that. Okay, that doesn't go anywhere. You get to keep what you put in, but the money that they put in, they may give you a schedule. Say, look, every year you're going to get 25. You get to keep 25% of the money we gave you if you leave, and after 4 years, you can take it all and leave. So that is an option. Every employer is different. You absolutely want to read into what their vesting schedule is, if they even have one, and obviously whether or not they offer a match. Now, for me, whether a company offers a match or not, that is still an advantage to me to contribute to a 401k because I am still investing that money. There are some people that believe, well, they're not going to match me, so I'm not going to put any money in. Why would you do that? That doesn't help you. that doesn't help you. I say that because, number one, I'm lowering my taxes now by putting money into it. And I'm still investing the money now by putting money into it. So it's better if I'm putting in 5% on my own and they don't give me anything, that 5% is still going to grow so long as I'm investing it through the 401k and I'm choosing my investments. Right? So we got that one out of the way. What if you leave your employer? I don't want to leave that money there. You don't have to. You can do what is called a rollover, which means that once you leave the employer, you take out what's in the 401k and put it into usually a traditional IRA, which is another investing account. We've done videos on those. If you need me to explain that, feel free to let me know in the comments and we can post a video about it. But that is the typical process. You leave employer, take 401k money, put it in your IRA, and you keep rolling and keep investing that way. I have an app, and there's a link in the comment section below called Capitalize that can help you do the entire process for you. I've helped with my wife's 401k, my 401k from previous jobs, and just roll it over to my IRA and keep it pushing. Easy, free app. Again, that link is in the description below. All right, so that is what happens, what it is, how it works, and then what to do should you leave an employer. Now, once you have one, what should you invest in? And how does that entire process work? So this is one of the most important things to pay attention to. Now on the screen that you see here is when you log into your 401k, you're usually given some options, and these options can be long. And what you'll see is, you'll see some, as you saw on the screen, where there'll be some years that are selected. These are called target date funds. Target date funds are one of the easiest, most automated ways that you can invest. And the way that you want to look at that is, what year do I want to retire in? Generally, if you're starting your career, that's going to be 30 years away. So if we're talking right now, 2023, or just even it off and just round down to 2020, you're probably going to look for a 2040 fund, 2045 fund, or something of that nature. That means that as you're investing, it is going to be very aggressive in the beginning. It's going to try to grow your money as fast as possible, safely. And then as you get older, as you get closer to retirement, it starts to be more conservative. That is the point of a target date fund. Again, if you're somebody that just wants to be super conservative and automated and say, I don't want to even have to look at this, my suggestion in most cases, put 100% of your money there and don't look at it. They're going to take care of everything for you. Now, if you're like me, you want a little bit more control over that, then you want to scroll through that list and see what it is you want to invest in. Generally speaking, you want to use what is called the rule of 110. Some people call this the rule of 120. And what that says is, I'm going to take 110 minus my age, and that is how I'm going to divide my money up between those funds, between stock funds and bond funds. When you look at that list, you're likely going to see something like a U.S. bond fund, or you can see something as an income fund. Those are those more conservative accounts. So for example, for me, let's say I'm 30, that means 80% of my money is going to go into something like a U.S. stock fund. So in those boxes, I'd put 80% there. The other 20%, I'm going to go find an income fund or U.S. bond fund and put the other 20% there. That gives me an 80 to 20 mix. That is probably going to get me very close to where I should be, and likely very close to what an income, a target date fund would get you to. What are the advantages and disadvantages between just choosing a target date fund and going and changing those allocations on your own? The advantage of doing that is because, well, what if I'm not starting my career right now? I can customize it to where I am and what I plan to do. Perhaps I'm more aggressive than the average person. Perhaps I'm less aggressive than the average person. I get to change that on my own and really take more control over my retirement and my wealth building process. The downside, because there is a downside, is that it is on me to come back and do what I call reallocation. This is why we talk about when I adjust my investments every 6 months, I'll go and check my 401k too. Because over time, I can start off and be 80-20. I can come back, depending on how the market is, and be 90-10. I have way too much in stocks for me than someone else. And it's going to be my responsibility to adjust those back and get them to where they should be. Now for me, I'm comfortable with doing that. Not everybody is. So you have to sit down and decide. Do you want to be somebody who just does target date funds, just put in the money and they don't have to worry about it? Or are you someone who wants to be more hands-on and is okay going back and making those adjustments? The adjustments are easy. They can be done within 10 minutes. So don't be intimidated by it. But these are things that you may want to consider. Also, if you are, let's say, late 30s or even 40s, even 50s, and you're doing this for the very first time, you might have to be more aggressive because you haven't been investing for the last 20 years. So doing it yourself might be an option for you because the 2045 fund may not be aggressive enough. It may not grow your money enough for you to retire and leave work when you feel like leaving. Okay. Now, the last thing that you do want to pay attention to is once you got all that stuff together, what do? Do nothing. Do not panic and do not withdraw if possible, because we saw this in 2020. We saw so many people when the pandemic hit and the stock market dropped by historic rates. Everybody was asking me back then. You could go back and watch these videos from 3 years ago. They were rough. It wasn't nice. We didn't have all this stuff. I didn't have a haircut back then, but it was what it was. And people were taking out money from the stock market. And what happened that year? Go back and see how the stock market did in 2020. It rose by double digits, I think. And the next year, the market was up again. And what you don't want to do is when you start to see these panic moments, it feels like I should just withdraw my money, take it out of the market, and just wait until things get better and then hop back in. It feels like the right thing to do. It is almost never the right thing to do. Let your 401k continue to ride. If you withdraw money early, that you could be hit with a 10% penalty as well as income taxes. That could be painful for you. Again, when you leave jobs, just do a rollover. Do not take that money out. Do not let them send you a check, because if you don't put it back into an account, you're going to get hit again with taxes and penalties. And I don't want that for you. I'm sure you don't want that for yourself. So remain calm when investing in your 401k. Fidelity did a study, and they do a study every year where they say how many millionaires they have just at Fidelity Investments. They had, I think it was over, I actually wrote this number down, over 21, just make sure I got this right, over 21.5 million accounts, 1.4% are millionaires with a median balance, that's in the middle, of 1.3 million. Your 401k is one of the easiest, most accessible ways to hit that millionaire mark. Not the only one, but it's the easiest and most accessible way, because you can start off with $1. Okay, you can start off, your employer can help you with that. You're not going to see these types of advantages in real estate. Can you become a millionaire in real estate? Yes, but who's going to give you money for it? Can you start off with $1? No. Can you start with 1% of your income? No, you cannot, right? Can you start a business and become a millionaire? You absolutely can. Are you going to get help in the same way as your 401k? No. So it's the easiest, most efficient, not the only one. Different strokes for different folks. However, I'm going to go with the numbers, okay? There's more than 3 to 400,000 millionaires just at Fidelity by doing this process. You can do it too, but it will take time, and it will take you understanding the tenets and pieces that we've talked about in this video. Being calm, being patient, leaving the money there to continuously invest, and obviously investing as close as you can, between 12 to 15%, and then making sure your allocations are right. The biggest mistake that I've seen before, and hopefully I don't see again, is when people sign up for their 401k and they don't go through that selection process that I showed you on the screen, where it showed you which funds you have to invest in. If every last one of those is zero, you are not investing. You're just depositing money into the account. You need to have some numbers next to those boxes or inside those boxes to say that of the money I put in here, 5, 10, 15%, 100% is going to these funds here. Once you have that, that's when you know you are investing. And that's when you're going to start to see the money grow. I've said this before on other platforms and podcasts before. I had a lady that had like $300,000 or $400,000 and that she just kept depositing in her account but didn't actually choose the investments. You got to make sure that you're choosing those investments. All right. Again, I showed you what it looks like in most 401k accounts. So that's it. Now, I don't have a timer. Hopefully that was 10 minutes. But if I didn't cover anything or you have any additional questions, you know what to do. Hit me up in the comments below. If you need an extension to this video or you got other questions I didn't cover, again, let me know in the comments below. If you want more high-level investing tips and tricks, then you know where to go. There is a members only group that we drop exclusive videos each and every week. You want to be a part of it. All right. I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye.